Hello, students. Welcome back. Excuse the mess behind me. My wife and I will be expecting twins here in the next couple months, so we've been slowly but surely getting all of our rooms ready in the house, and that means stroller here behind me. So I wanted to take this moment today to talk a little bit about some of the expectations and of you as a student, but also some of the things that I can help you with in this class. Being that I am a teacher of carpentry and this class is inside of a prison, can also make it somewhat of a difficult environment for students to prepare, for them to diligently work. And I wanted to discuss a few points that may help you out in this whole process. So first, I wanted to talk about self-direction and self-regulation. So as a worker in the work environment, we have to be self-motivated. We have to show up on time. We have to show up every day. We have to show up sober. We have to show up ready to work. Part of being in this class is being someone who is self-motivated and being someone who can effectively complete this program. So a big part of that is organization and cleanliness. We do have a rotating cleaning schedule in our classroom, so we do expect that to be done every day, but also the work area in front of you, the work area that you're working on. It's expected that you would keep all your tools clean and you would keep yourself organized because, as you know, living inside of a prison, you're responsible for all of your own goods, as well as the stuff that you may not be allowed to have. I do go through the classroom and do search the classroom, so any contraband will be taken away, as well as the owner of that contraband will be written up. Also, it's important as a student to be able, as far as a self-regulation skill, to be able to manage the tasks that you're working on. So a lot of times we'll be working on individual tasks, and we only have 6.5 hours a day in the class. So it's important, if you have a goal for yourself and you want to complete up to a certain point on whatever project it is that you're working on, that you closely monitor your progress and make sure that you are managing your time. That's a very important part of the construction industry, because a lot of times you will be on a work site alone, or you may be on a work site with one other person. And in this industry, time is money. And if you cannot manage your time correctly, then you will end up losing money or end up losing someone else money. And in order to be a valuable asset for a company, it's important that you can be self-motivated and self-regulate yourself on your pace, and as well as ensure that you can guarantee quality of work so that the job comes out right. The next topic I wanted to talk about is your experience, the student experience. It's important in this class that I be able to give you an idea of what a work site or a job site may present to you. Even though some of you may not have experience in the construction trade, you may have experience in retail, you may have experience working a job that requires you to manage other people. All of these tasks, or all of these qualities, can be something that you can bring to the table, so that an employer on a job site would think that you are a valuable asset. So you know, things like people skills, talking to people, patience is another one as well too. So making sure that whatever job skills you have, even if it's not construction, you can always apply those in some sort of a way to a work site. Also, in this class, we will be helping you compose resumes that you'll be able to take out and also present to potential employers. It's important in a resume that you do have things like your job skills, as well as the places that you work. You want to be able to have references that people can call as well too. A great part about being in this class is that you do show work history. You are here for a certain amount of time. That time is logged. And if you feel like you are someone who works diligently in the class, then you may want to use myself as a reference for a potential job interview. So that's an added benefit of being in this class. Your resumes should also include contact information, and all of those things are things that we will help you to be able to compile and be able to present to a potential employer. Also, when you complete NCCR modules in this class, that will all be recorded onto a database, which you could use with an employer as well. Also, in this class, we're going to be working in teams. We do have team building exercises that we will be going through. Being able to work in a team or being a good coworker is an important skill that you can carry out to the job site. If you can't work with other people, then it makes it very difficult for an employer to justify keeping a person on a job site because they may affect productivity. So those team building exercises are something that's very important. Those usually consist of building projects together. A lot of the projects that we build in carpentry are large-scale projects, and those actually need more than one person to work on them. So those are some of the types of skills that I like to give my students. Being able to work with other people, show effective communication with other people as well. Also, I wanted to kind of discuss some of the difficulties that may arise if you have a criminal record when you get out on the street. There are a lot of employers who will hire people with criminal records, but it is important for those people to have references. It's also important for you as a worker to be patient and understand that not everything will go your way, and not everything can be done the way that you want it done. A lot of times as an employee, you have to understand that the person who is directing you is the person that's paying the bills. It's important for you to work hard and try to be as effective as you possibly can, but ultimately some of the responsibility is taken off of you and put onto their shoulders. And so it's important to be able to take direction. I will give you direction in this class. I do expect my students to understand and respect the fact that my direction is the final say. But I feel that that does prepare my students a little bit better to go onto a job site and take direction from a supervisor. People do have a connotation of inmates and people with criminal records, and so it's important to do everything that we can to break that connotation and try to be good, upstanding citizens and work in a way that would be effective, as well as something that provides you joy and happiness and will provide income for you and your family. Next, I want to talk about the different types of technologies and effective technology that we use inside of this classroom. Even though we are inside of a prison, our technology use is very limited, but we do have different forms of technology inside of our classroom. We do use computers on a computer database. I'll discuss that a little bit further. We do use up-to-date tools and different tools that do require some sort of technological savvy. Also, we're using calculators. We're using lots of different things that will help you, assist you in your reintegration into the world. For those that haven't been out on the streets for 20 or so years, life has changed. The integration of cell phones into everyday life, the integration of computers into everyday life. It's very hard to get by nowadays if we don't have those forms of technology. Most jobs will require some sort of skill, whether it be with cell phone use or whether it be with email or something like that. So we do have programs and we do have computers that will assist you in learning the steps that you'll need to take in order to become savvy with those forms of technology. Also, it's important that when you are using the computers to use them responsibly. You will be learning how to type on the computers. You'll be learning how to organize files. That organizational skill transfers over into your life as well too. And being able to do that on something, even though you don't get to use a phone, some of the methods are very much the same. Word processing is essential, so learning how to structure a letter or a resume is something that we need to know when we're potentially looking for a job or if we're working for a company. Spreadsheets as well too. That's another big thing that's used as well on a job site by supervisors as well as field workers. The advantages of some of this modern technology, some of the tools, laser tools, measuring tools. These tools are some of the most recent forms of technology integrated in construction and can make our life much easier. Laser transits, laser leveling tools, laser measuring tools are all things that we can use on a job site that will help make our time more efficient as well as make the projects turn out better, as measurements more accurate. So it's important for us to be able to use these technologies, and we do have these technologies available, and we'll use them throughout the times that we will be projecting in this class. Also, it's important that when we're using technology to not get so dependent on it or addicted to it. There's a big epidemic that goes around today with people on their cell phones, people on their computers, and it takes up so much time. So it's important for us to be able to manage that time. And that's going to kind of move me into the next topic that I wanted to talk about, and that's self-direction as far as technology goes. It's important that when you're using these technologies to manage your time efficiently and not get sidetracked. With the advent of social media and all of the things that are available online, it's very easy to get sidetracked and lose track of time, or just get lost in doing something and not being efficient with what we're supposed to be doing. In the same way, and we have the classroom, in the same way we have computers, you are supposed to manage your time effectively. It's important that you be able to set a goal for yourself. If you want to get a certain amount of work done on the computer, to go in, hold yourself to that time frame, or hold yourself to that goal, get it done effectively so that you can further your skills in managing your time. You may have something else to do where you want to do some hands-on skills. It's important that you can be able to stick to those goals and stick to those time frames so that you can be effective in all those other areas. Also, for you as a student, you are supposed to manage your time. Every week when we have NCCER testing, it's required of you to take the pretest on the computers, and that pretest has to be passed with more than an 80%. There is no, I will not be reminding you when you need to take your pretest. I will not be telling you that your pretest has to be done. I will, however, be checking to make sure that your pretest is complete before you can take your NCCER test. If you are not managing your time correctly and you're not doing that pretest when you should be doing it before you take your NCCER test, the NCCER test will not be made available to you. I could go around and tell everyone when they need to take their pretest and make sure that everyone has it done, but if you're not able to self-regulate, and if you're not able to make a schedule and make sure that something's done before a certain date, then those skills will not be able to translate on the outside. And that is something, as an employer or as someone who runs his own business, that's the type of person that I'm looking for, is someone who's very capable of managing their own time, meeting a deadline, and making sure that stuff gets done when I need it to get done. Also, when you're on the computers, you have a computer use agreement. You have signed an agreement that states that you will not misuse these computers for any other movies or pictures or any type of contraband. And for you, that puts the onus on the student. If you are not able to hold to that agreement, and you should break that agreement, the computer will not be made available to you, and you will not be able to take your pretest, which means that you will not be able to advance in this course. And for you as a student and someone who could potentially be paroling, that is a very critical part of your program, is being able to complete it on time and be able to complete it in an effective manner. So it's of the utmost importance that you hold to that agreement. Also, I talked about the addictions that come along with computer use. I just want to stress that as well too. When we get to the outside world, some of you will have cell phones that are made available to you through your parole programs. It's just important that you use those phones in an effective manner, but also don't get caught up in the day-to-day social media aspect of life, because it's important when you get out of here to be able to prioritize work and prioritize advancing your career, because you will not have very many chances and very much time to make that happen. And it's important that, because you've already had time on a sentence and you're going out into the world at a disadvantage, it's important for you to be able to focus on that. The last thing I want to discuss with you guys are some of the resources that can be made available to people who need learning assistance. I realize that we have a wide variety of people in this classroom from very many different backgrounds. We have college graduates, we have high school graduates, we have people who have not graduated high school or maybe have never been to school. It's important that we do everything that we can to help the students out that may need additional assistance. Part of the requirement of being in this class is having a effective amount of communication, being able to effectively communicate with other people. But there is not a requirement as far as math, English, learning skills, and so it's my job to be able to assist students in any way that I possibly can. So students who may need help on certain possibly academic studies, whether it be math, which we do incorporate math in our course in carpentry, all sorts of geometry, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. So if there are people who need assistance with that, I do provide one-on-one time with my students, tutoring time that we have throughout the day while other people are projecting. Usually that goes at about 30-minute increments on specific subjects. Also, our college program and the VEP teachers, the Voluntary Education Program teachers, have made their time available to you students out here in Vogue, and they want to help you with your studies. So, if you are stuck on a particular subject or stuck on a particular section, we have allowed time for you to go over and be tutored by these teachers. We have had many students go through this program very successfully, and have gotten that one-on-one attention that they really needed. There are a lot of distractions inside of the classroom, and I want to make sure that people get the attention that they need. Also, there may be a language barrier. We do have people from other countries inside of this class. We do have people where English is not their first language. Oftentimes, we do have multilingual persons inside of the class. I myself am not multilingual, but we do have people that are, and a lot of my students are more than willing to help interpret as well as help convey some of this information to someone who may not be able to understand very well what I'm saying or describing. So I do make that available to you. Also, for any Spanish speakers, we do have our books, our NCCR books, available in Spanish as well too. So that is a resource that is made available to you as a student. So I just wanted to thank you for listening to this. I very much enjoy teaching this course. I very much enjoy having you all as students. I don't ask a lot from my students, but I get a lot in return. I'm very open and honest with my communication, and I like to give you as much of a job experience as possible because I feel that that better prepares you when you go out into the workplace. So thank you very much for listening to me, and have a great day.